Unidentified gunmen have killed at least 19 passengers. They forced off 2 buses in southwest Pakistan.
In Pakistan, Islamic State militants have kidnapped and murdered 11 coal miners in Balochistan province in the country's southwest.
Where gunmen have attacked the country's stock exchange in Karachi, killing 6 people, including a policeman and 2 guards. Officials say all 4 attackers have been shot dead. Militants from the Balochistan Liberation Army stormed inside the compound, throwing grenades and firing indiscriminately.
Tell me when it's on.
Yes, it's on.
Este es el rifle que vamos a usar. Como se ve, no parece que esta zona es muy tranquila cuando hay que ir acompañado del Kalashnikov para ir a cazar. Un país bastante violento.
Yeah. AK-47. Yeah, I'm recording now.
Hola. Bueno, es día 2 de enero de 1993 y estoy con Rohil en Karachi.
We are right now in Karachi, southern part of Pakistan, right by the Arabian Sea, and it's the largest city here in Pakistan. It's 20 million people. Crazy.
Con los camiones, las bicis, el driving de Rohil, que es terrorífico, pero bueno, jugándonos la vida, pero lo estamos viendo cosas muy interesantes. Take a picture?
Yeah, you go near the cobra, I take a picture.
Sure.
First tea of the trip. Here on our way to the town that we're going, that is called Dureji, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Like 2 hours and a half from Karachi.
Pero habría que por aquí ha pasado todo el mundo porque une el Medio Oriente con el Oriente. Han pasado los persas, después los mongoles, bueno, primero los árabes, luego los mongoles, luego los ingleses.
So we are right in between, in Balochistan province, but right in the border with
Sindh.
Sindh province, Pakistan. So this is Karachi where we flew in, and we drove this road up to here to Dureji.
Alohaos. Hoy a la mañana hemos dado una vuelta a ver si mataba a la gacela chincara, pero no, le he entrado a una, pero se nos han escapado.
Taking the bow, and this is probably the worst time of the trip because everyone is judging your skills. Most important arrow of the trip. Yes, been shooting a bunch of rounds. It seemed that the bow was shooting left for some reason, but I corrected. This has been the last group at 55 yards, so we should be good to go. Super excited, so let's see if we get some sleep, and tomorrow early morning will head to those mountains. Yeah, but I prefer to stop.
ये देखो कहता ना मैं मुझे मतलब वो भगाने वाला मुझे वो पसंद है क्योंकि आपने जो किया पहले वो
First day of the hunt and we are organizing the team. It's quite a big team, so I'm not sure about the plan, but the country looks amazing. A bit windy though. First morning of the trip, we spotted some billies. They are half the way up the mountain, so we are trying to gain altitude before the sun comes out because it's gonna be really warm. There is some really nice billies, so we are putting in stock just with Rana and Jack on the camera, so I'm excited. I think we convinced them that we don't need such a large team, or maybe we start seeing the team spread out as we are coming closer. So let's see how it goes. We have been discussing a little bit on how to hunt here, because I typically like to spot and stalk. I was telling Iyas that for the bow and the camera you need time and you the animal relax and all this, but he was telling that the driven hunt is the way you typically hunt here.
Yeah, driven is more reliable than stalking here. Because they know he said, I know the actual place where we can sit, and the ibex, when they're driven the ibex, they will come more closer than instead of stalking.
Yeah, like most of the local guides here are shepherds, so they really know the terrain, they know the animals, they know the animal behavior, and these mountains are kind of isolated, so it's small mountain ranges with really big flats, so the big groups, it's what he's saying, that it's really hard to get close to so many eyes and so many animals. So he's suggesting that the best thing will be to go to the highest point on the mountain, like the steepest, where there is big cliffs and big cuts, and that's where typically the animals, they see the animals run there to be safe and to be protected, because it's only ibex can actually walk on this terrain. And wait for them, and tell some of his local friends to show themselves, try to let the ibex know that they are around, and they will slowly come towards where they feel safe actually. So I don't know, I'm not totally sold on the idea, but we came here to hunt in Pakistan and to see different ways of hunting to hunt how they hunt here. So like this is the traditional way they hunt. Let's see if it works and how it is. I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see what these guys can do. So, Shukriya. We give a couple of tries, and if not, my way. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Sounds fair.
First, his.
First, we're gonna listen to the boss that he knows the area.
Then. He will, he said we will try our best. He's sure on his idea.
Good.
Y luego hemos ido todo por arriba, por arriba, por arriba, por arriba, por arriba, por arriba.
According to Ranat, he has sent one of his guides to go around to try to push the ibex towards this area because they typically bed down behind these big rocks. So we hopefully will be able to cut them off on the way to the bedding area. So if they are able, these guys, to drive the animals to 40 yards to where we are, is that they really know how to do things and they really know the terrain, because typically this stuff doesn't work out. Coming 150 meters, 170. The last one or the third one? How far is that? That has been crazy. There was freaking ibex all over us. Have you been able to film it? I couldn't shoot with you guys in front of me. There was some ibex 10 meters away, and everyone would say, that's the big one. There was big ones all over. Thank you, Thank you, Very good. Problem? The cameraman. Camera?
Problem, second problem, third problem, the fourth problem.
No problem. Me no problem. Me no problem. Me no problem. No, me no problem.
A más de 200 metros. Bastante más de 200 metros. ¡Pum! Y me han dicho que ha caído. Ahí están todos reunidos con el Urial. Yo no sabía si había caído o no. He tirado con un 7 milímetros Remington Magnum que me ha dejado. Que me han dejado.
So one of the reasons that the driven and pushing animals in these mountains work really well is that we are basically hunting in mountain ranges that are very isolated. So you have the mountain range, and as you guys can see, big flats on the outside. When they push the animals, they are not going to go to this immense flatland, so they try to keep in that mountain range so that's why they are more successful. And these guys, it's probably the most common method to hunt the ibex here, so they have got really good at pushing them and knowing where channels and which type of passes or trails they're gonna get. So we're gonna set an ambush here and see if we get an opportunity. We have seen some ibex behind this valley, so here the boss Rana has sent his teammates to go around because there was no possible stock to go around and try to push them here, because he thinks that with this big mountain their only way for crossing is this path, which is at 45 yards, 50, so more or less depending, and he says that we need to wait here, so let's see what happens. Here, to the right, yeah. Down here, wait. Ready, everyone. Bleeding a lot, no? It's bleeding a lot, no? Yeah, it's that one. Ready, just in case it appears there, I'm gonna shoot again. It's dead, it's dead, it's dead, it's dead. You see? You see?
Man, perfect shot. Perfect shot. शिकार किया, पता चल गया. हाँ, good, very good बोला ना.
Thank you.
Very good.
The adrenaline rush that we have got in the last, I mean, I'm saying I'm destroyed. I'm super tired. So yeah, he gave us an opportunity at 66 yards. It was not perfectly broadside, so I tried to put the arrow on the shoulder. and I think it went a little bit to the right. But I got him like right here, I think. I mean, he was bleeding right away, and it ran like 30 meters and it started rolling down. I don't know if he's probably destroyed down there because he fell down the cliff. Like, unreal experience. So, Sindh Ibex down. Thanks, Jack.
Congratulations once again. You got
Thank
the
you.
world record.
You think so?
Yeah, it's 43 and a half, something like this.
We got it. Thanks a lot. Shukriya.
Yeah.
Rana. Shukriya.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it.
Good.
Agotado. Muerto.
Shoot. Pepe, shoot.
Pepe muerto.
Pepe, shoot.
Pepe caput.
Kutu.
Another trip comes to an end way too fast. It has been an amazing few days here in Pakistan. I honestly came here with some preconceived ideas on what to expect in terms of the mountains, the people, and the hunting, and this place has actually blown my mind. The mountains are way bigger and way tougher than I was expecting. The people, it's some of the most lovely people that you will ever meet. Like, super helpful, always laughing. It has been a pleasure to hunt with them. And also about the way they hunt. I'm a spot and stock guy. I never thought about hunting the mountains like we have done, pushing animals, and it has proved me wrong. It has proved me to be one of the most amazing experiences I have ever had hunting mountain game with bow and arrow. And the adrenaline rush was mind-blowing. So I think this is just a clear example that when we travel, we need to be open-minded, we need to get inside the culture, get to know the people, and get to enjoy the experience. And I feel super lucky to be able to travel the world, discover new cultures, meet new people, be in places so amazing like this, and keep living new experiences. What do you think, Jack?
Pakistan?